The old Victorian house stood on a windswept hill. Its brick facade was crumbling. Ivy clung to its walls like grasping hands. This was Blackwood Manor. Locals whispered tales of its haunted past. I was Dr. Evelyn Wright, a scientist. I was here to investigate. The air grew heavy as I descended the cellar steps. A chill ran down my spine. The musty smell of decay filled my nostrils. The darkness felt alive, pressing against me. This was a place of secrets. I took a deep breath, steeling myself. My skepticism warred with the undeniable feeling of unease. This was just an old house, a collection of wood and stone, yet something felt profoundly wrong. The silence was broken only by the drip of water. Each drop echoed like a drumbeat in the oppressive darkness. Blackwood Manor had a long, troubled history. Built in 1857, it had seen its share of tragedy. The original owner, a wealthy industrialist, had died here under mysterious circumstances. His wife, driven to madness by grief, was said to have taken her own life soon after. Local lore spoke of their spirits trapped within the house. People told of cold spots, disembodied voices, and objects moving on their own. These stories were intriguing, but I needed proof. Anecdotes were not evidence. I sought tangible data. The manor had stood empty for decades. Its only inhabitants were dust and decay, and perhaps something more. As I explored the dusty rooms, I felt a presence. Or was it my imagination? The line between reality and perception could be blurred in such a place. I had come prepared. My backpack held an array of instruments. I had EMF meters to detect electromagnetic fluctuations. I carried digital recorders to capture EVPs, electronic voice phenomena. Infrared cameras would help me see in the dark. Science provided the tools to investigate the unknown. It was a way to separate fact from fiction. My goal was not to prove or disprove the existence of ghosts. My aim was to understand the phenomena reported here. I set up my equipment in the cellar, the reported epicenter of the disturbances. The air felt thick and heavy. My instruments hummed, ready to record any anomalies. The silence stretched, punctuated only by the rhythmic beeping of the EMF meter. Hours passed. The silence remained unbroken. The darkness felt oppressive, suffocating. My skepticism grew. Perhaps this was just an old house, its history embellished by time and imagination. Then my EMF meter began to spike. The needle jumped erratically. A sudden cold spot washed over me. The air grew heavy, charged with an unseen energy. My heart pounded in my chest. A shiver ran down my spine. This was it, the moment of truth. Was something here with me? I spoke into the darkness, my voice a trembling whisper. Is anyone there? The silence stretched, mocking my question. Then a faint sound, barely audible, a whisper, a sigh. My blood ran cold. I was no longer alone. Section 5, where science meets speculation. The rational part of my brain searched for explanations. Infrasound, perhaps? Low-frequency sound waves could cause feelings of unease, even hallucinations, or could it be electromagnetic fields interacting with the human brain, creating sensory anomalies? Yet, a part of me entertained other possibilities. Quantum entanglement, the strange connection between particles separated by vast distances, suggested that our understanding of reality was far from complete. Could there be realms beyond our perception, dimensions unseen? Theories about the soul, consciousness surviving bodily death, flickered in my mind. Was it possible that some remnant of the past lingered here, trapped between worlds? The line between the scientific and the supernatural seemed to blur. Section 6. The enigma deepens. Days turned into nights. I meticulously documented every anomaly. Temperature fluctuations, electromagnetic spikes, unexplained noises captured on my recorder. Each piece of data added to the puzzle, but the picture remained unclear. The whispers grew stronger. I thought I could distinguish words, phrases, but they were always just out of reach. Faces seemed to form in the darkness, only to dissolve into shadows. Was I losing myself in this place? Was the house claiming me as it had claimed others? The line between objectivity and fear blurred. I couldn't deny the growing sense of unease, the feeling of being watched. Still, I pressed on, driven by a thirst for knowledge and a need to understand. Section 7. A glimmer in the dark. One night, amidst the chaos of data and fear, I stumbled upon a clue. A hidden room tucked away behind a false wall in the cellar. Inside, I found a diary, its pages brittle with age. The faded ink revealed a tragic tale. The former owner, the wealthy industrialist, had been conducting experiments. He was obsessed with contacting the afterlife, driven by grief over the loss of his young son. His research was a dangerous mix of science and the occult, a desperate attempt to bridge the gap between worlds. The diary spoke of rituals, of attempts to harness unseen energies. It ended abruptly, the final entry filled with a sense of dread and the chilling realization that he had gone too far. Had he succeeded in his quest, but at a terrible cost? Section 8. The Unseen World. The diary provided a new perspective, a framework to understand the events at Blackwood Manor. Perhaps the disturbances were not the work of ghosts, but the lingering echoes of the industrialist's experiments. Could he have unwittingly opened a door to another realm, unleashing forces he couldn't control? The implications were staggering. If the veil between worlds was so thin, what did it mean for our understanding of reality? Were we just visitors in a universe far stranger and more complex than we could comprehend? I continued my investigation, but with a renewed sense of purpose. I was no longer just a scientist studying a haunted house. I was an explorer venturing into the unknown, seeking to understand the fundamental nature of existence. Section 9. A universe of mysteries. My time at Blackwood Manor was coming to an end. I had gathered a wealth of data, but the true nature of the haunting remained elusive. The house held its secrets close, guarding them jealously. Perhaps some mysteries are not meant to be solved. As I packed my equipment, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was leaving more than just an old house. I was leaving a part of myself behind, a piece of my skepticism replaced by a newfound sense of wonder. The universe was a vast and mysterious place, full of possibilities we were only beginning to glimpse. The experience had changed me. I had stared into the abyss, and the abyss had stared back. I had confronted the unknown, and in doing so, I had confronted myself. The quest for knowledge was a journey without end, a constant exploration of the boundaries of our understanding. Section 10. The quest continues. I left Blackwood Manor behind, but the questions lingered. The experience had ignited a spark in me, a thirst for knowledge that could never be quenched. I returned to my research with renewed vigor, eager to delve deeper into the mysteries of the universe. The line between the scientific and the supernatural had become blurred, but that was not a bad thing. It was in the spaces between, where logic and intuition intertwined, that true discovery lay. The universe was a tapestry woven from both the seen and the unseen, and it was our duty to explore every thread. The quest for knowledge is a journey without end. It is a journey that takes us from the depths of the ocean to the farthest reaches of space, from the microscopic world of atoms to the vast expanse of the cosmos. And sometimes it leads us to places like Blackwood Manor, where the veil between worlds thins, and we catch a glimpse of something truly extraordinary.